been going through a bit of a crisis lately. Generally, I'm a positive guy. I like to stay on the positive side of things. I don't shy away from the things that I enjoy doing, like playing video games, being in a band, and ignoring household chores. But lately, there's been this voice in the back of my head that's getting harder and harder to bat off. They don't do things like they used to. Things aren't as good as they used to. When you bought things you used to own. Remember when you used to be able to just put a game in and play, need a loyalty card for every show? Washing up your fat lazy. Just been Halloween, and I was talking on my stream about how nobody fucking knocks on our door anymore. When I was a kid, the streets were flooded with kids knocking on doors for Halloween. I did find out though through my comments that apparently now kids will only knock on your door if you have decorated your house. If you haven't decorated your house for Halloween, it's like a we're not celebrating Halloween type shit. I didn't know that. Halloween may still live on, but as a man in my 30s, I just can't escape it. I can't escape the feeling that things are not the same as they used to be. The year 2007. The time about 9:30 in the morning. I've just walked back through the door after my mum dropped me off on Town Street with a folder full of CVs to hand out to try and get my lazy ass a job. Then I went a postbox about to start their journey to fuck knows where, and my mum, well, she's gone to work now. I've just arrived back through the door, and the only thing ahead of me for the rest of the day is MySpace, a few rounds on Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and of course, Guitar Hero 3. Now, if that shit resonates with you, and I know it does, oh man, have I got some news for you. The old gods of Guitar Hero are tuning up again. Yep, apparently RedOctane are back with one mission to bring their infamous flavour of rhythm game back to life. So here's the deal, the legends behind the original Guitar Hero series, RedOctane, have officially returned under a new name, RedOctane Games. Now, the distinction is important. RedOctane originally were the inventors, I guess, of the hardware that came with the Guitar Hero games, the guitars. They weren't video game developers as such, and on the first two games they teamed up with Harmonix to develop Guitar Hero 1 and 2, and then after that they teamed up with Neversoft. And then Activision swallowed up the whole thing and it all just went to shit. But this time, it's all in one package. The studio's been led by Lee Guinchard, who was the VP of the original RedOctane back in the day, and Simon Eberger, who worked on the Guitar Hero titles at Neversoft. And to make things even better, they have the backing of the original founders. Kai and Charles Huang are back on as advisors. So we know that they are officially working on a brand new project, a rhythm game project with peripherals. In fact, it's been confirmed officially that they've teamed up with CRKD, peripheral makers, to make, well, just take a look at the picture that they posted. So it's not officially confirmed that it's going to be a guitar game, but it's a guitar game, or at least it involves guitars. Between 2005 and 2010, Guitar Hero was everywhere, and I mean everywhere. If you were a teenager at that time, music, MySpace, video games, MSN Messenger, that's where you lived, bro. These things were like religion. Muse, The Killers, Arctic Monkeys, Bullet for My Valentine, Trivium, Fall Out Boy, My Chem, Bring Me the Horizon, The Kooks. Everybody wanted to do three things. Everybody wanted to be in a band, everybody wanted to skateboard, and everybody wanted to... But here's the deal, most of us couldn't do any of that shit. So we had Guitar Hero, Tony Hawk's, and Grand Theft Auto. It was a cultural moment. You were either in a team deathmatch or you were shredding through the fire and flames. And of course, Activision saw this. Wait a minute, not only is this game selling millions and millions of units, but nobody wants to play it without the peripherals, which meant these games were selling millions of copies, but at the inflated price of like £90, which almost seems normal for a video game price these days, but back then that was fucking expensive. They don't do things like they used to. It's not even that the games got bad. In fact, not much changed about them, and that may have been part of the problem. Once Activision got their hooks in Guitar Hero, it was just a money-making machine, churning out game after game after game. Without much change, just different songs. These games were being shoved down the throats of consumers at rates that anybody's going to get bored of. And I'm not talking about the Call of Duty once a year thing. I'm talking about at its peak, 7 different games in 1 year. The first Guitar Hero came out in 2005. It was a success. The second Guitar Hero followed that up in 2006. It was a success. By 2007, Neversoft were involved. We saw Guitar Hero Encore Rock the 80s and Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock. Now, Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock was probably the most successful one. So at this point, we were still on the up. 2008, we saw Guitar Hero on Tour, Guitar Hero Aerosmith, Guitar Hero World Tour, and Guitar Hero on Tour The Decades. 2009, Guitar Hero on Tour Modern Hits, Guitar Hero Metallica, Guitar Hero Smash Hits, Guitar Hero 5, DJ Hero, which, yeah, it's not a Guitar Hero, but it was a spin-off, similar concept, made by the same people. Band Hero, this is where we started getting the full kit, and then Guitar Hero Van Halen, all in the same fucking year. You couldn't breathe for the shit. And at this point, the novelty had worn thin, extremely thin. In 2010, we got Guitar Hero Warriors of Rock and DJ Hero 2. Nobody gave a fuck. And then it died a death. And Activision actually shut down RedOctane. There was an attempt to revive the franchise in 2015 with Guitar Hero Live, but the rhythm game boom had already faded. It was too soon, and also the game just totally lacked all the character and personality that the previous entries had. Also the guitar, they changed the guitar. It was a different game. There was like, instead of 5 buttons, there was 3 buttons and then 3 more underneath it. It was like 10 minutes of Christmas Day, you know what I mean? But other than that, it was dog shit. But now we know RedOctane is back and they are working on a brand new rhythm game. And according to studio head Simon Eberger, this is not just a simple nostalgia grab. He believes the community never really went away, and they're not treating rhythm gamers as a niche, but something that is underserved. Certainly here in the West anyway. I mean, Japan is loaded with rhythm games. Very, very popular over there. And honestly, he's right. Like, we've been waiting for a comeback. Like Simon said, the community didn't actually go away. They've just been in hiding, or more like underground, playing non-licensed fan-made versions of the game. At first it was Clone Hero, which served people very well for a long time, and then came along Yarg, yet another rhythm game, which exploded in underground popularity. And I fucking love it when studios do this, instead of like being bitter about it or ignoring the fact. RedOctane have actually gone out and brought in Alex Jeffries, the creator of the open source rhythm game Yarg. If you've played that, you know how good it is. You know the features that modern rhythm game players are looking for. It's a fan-made love letter to the original Guitar Heroes with full mod support and custom tracks. Now, I'm not expecting to see custom tracks on whatever RedOctane games are making. I'm sure it will need to be properly licensed, but you catch what I'm saying. And Jeffries is now lead developer at RedOctane Games, which is huge news. So we've got a mix of the original devs and the new generation of rhythm game creators working together, all being guided and advised by the original founders of RedOctane. It's like your favorite band getting back together, but they've replaced the problematic bass player. Now, the hardest part of any rhythm game, and the most challenging thing that I think they're probably going to come across, we've touched on it, it's licensing. You can't just throw Knights of Sidonia on your game and be done with it. Especially with older songs, you know, the ones that people are most likely to want to play. You need rights from multiple different people, and this can be extremely challenging and insanely expensive. Rights can be split between many different parties, especially if the band are no longer together. The different members of the band that wrote the songs, any ghost writers that were involved, any record labels that retain rights to the songs, any publishers that published the songs at the time of their release. Trust me, it's a task. The process was painful even 20 years ago at Guitar Hero's peak, and it's probably even more difficult today. But RedOctane say that they're already licensing songs, so it's already underway. And my assumption is if they're already licensing songs, then development must be already pretty far on as well. But what is the new game? Well, we have no fucking idea. They haven't even revealed a title yet, but they did reveal some telling clues. They obviously confirmed that there will be guitar play, but apparently they're not just limiting it to that. They want it to be accessible and appealing to the whole rhythm game community. And at this time, they're not planning yearly releases. The idea is just to launch one game and keep updating it, which I think is really, it's the way to go. It's the modern way. For something like this, live service just makes total sense, but it's got to be done right. It's got to be done well, and please, please don't be locking everything behind paywalls. But all the tools are there for them to be able to make money from this game. Just do it fairly, please. Big picture wise, I think it's a good time to do it, to be honest. Rhythm games are starting to creep back into the mainstream. We had Fortnite Festival letting people jam out licensed songs rhythm game style. There's a lot of indie rhythm games that have been popular. Trombone Champ or whatever it's called was fucking huge last year. I think that's argument enough to suggest that there is a young, hungry audience that will potentially be interested in a game like this. And that's important because they can't just rely on the old guard. So if RedOctane games can strike that balance, appealing to the OG fans but also bringing in new fans, this could be the ultimate rhythm game. So yeah, that's just something that I wanted to talk about. It's not super recent news or anything, but I didn't know about it, and I'm like chronically online with video game stuff, and it passed me by, so maybe it's passed some of you guys by as well. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that over here. If you grew up mashing those colored buttons till your fingers ache, then please leave a like on the video. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.